This is Antron Brown. Matco Tools, Hank Sturfers, Toyota, Sirius XM, Lucas Oil, the major sponsors of his operation. There is not a more stark contrast than one can see than this. 78-0. Maybe there was a more stark contrast, and it happened about a half hour ago as these teams were thrashing with all their might. At least one of them was. The other team, Antron Brown, placid. It was normal. It was calm. There were members of 5 different teams working on Doug Foley's Top Fuel drags.
We've got the Lucas Oil spray detailer in the right pit, and look at all the talent and everyone that pitched in on the Doug Foley side, just hoping they could get the car turned around and start it up in time.
Drag racing's finest hours come at moments like this when the camaraderie overcomes the competitive nature. Doug Foley Jr. makes one last adjustment to the engine that he hopes will power his father to a first ever Top Fuel win in the NHRA. They lead the starting line. Antron is out first. Doug Foley's trying to hang with him, and it's Antron Brown back-to-back in the countdown. 384.8 outruns a respectable 386.2. And for Antron Brown, a team that seemed to struggle at midseason, they are in championship form.
You're not going to beat Antron Brown by giving him any real estate on the starting line, and I think that's something that Antron knew, and the tuners, they don't like to admit it, but I always think that they factor in the ability and the talent of their driver and how much performance they believe their driver can get off the starting line, and this was all Antron Brown from start to finish.
For the second week in a row, Brian Karate is celebrating on the starting line with his team. He has done such a fantastic job with Mark Oswald, Brad Mason, and the entire group. And now we get a look at the points here in Top Fuel, and we can see entering St. Louis, the position change for Antron Brown, +4. We can see now 53 points ahead of Justin Ashley, what he has done to be 47 back, and now 53 from Victor speaking to him.
Figured something out. Is this where you envision?
But like you always hope that you can be here, and we're getting good at the right point, and we just got to keep moving forward. And right now we got 4 races left, so that means 16 rounds of competition. I know Brian Karate, Mark Oswald up there at the helm. We're just going to keep digging deep. These guys are putting the work in, making the car flawless, and we just got to keep improving because this field is so tight. We don't have anything that we can spare. We just got to keep pushing forward and see where we end up at. Keep on.
The one thing we can always
do, baby.
The one thing we can always say about this guy and this team, they always act like they've been there before. When this team wins races and win rounds, they do it in a lockdown fashion. This guy, he's not locked down. He is unhinged, and he's been taking it out on the competition. Austin Brock will be the subject of our discussion when we return to a wet Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Does your student loan payment make you cringe? By refinancing to a lower rate through Credible.com, you could drastically cut your monthly payments. At Credible, you get personalized rates from multiple lenders. Visit Credible.com now to see your new monthly student loan payment.
Jalen Hurts leads the Eagles against Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, or the Patriots take on the Niners. It's a huge day of football Sunday on Fox, home of Super Bowl 59.
This thing's in the middle of nowhere, and even if we didn't get any closer, you'd still know. It's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. The same way you know you can keep the concert going, even after the encore. Or take the whole family anywhere in it. Because when you're an original, there's only one.
Right now, get $6,000 bonus cash allowance, or get 0% financing on 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland and Summit models. See your Jeep brand dealer today.
At Domino's, we know some companies are guilty of shrinkflation, giving you less for the same price. But we're going to give you more. Mix and match any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, and we'll upgrade 1 medium pizza to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, at Domino's.
The only thing I don't like about payday is waiting for it. Chime lets you get up to $500 of your pay whenever you need it. There's no interest, no credit checks, no mandatory fees. I'm not waiting for payday anymore, and you shouldn't either. Join me at Chime.com and get paid when you say.
J.D. Vance and Tim Walz face off. Shannon Bream anchors special Fox coverage. The CBS News Vice Presidential Debate on Fox.
Get ready to race down the track with Mission Foods. It's a green light for the NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series. packed with fast action and tasty products. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty. There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
The NHRA Midwest Nationals is brought to you by Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty. And by Camping World, America's recreation dealer. We are back here, just across the river, Madison, Illinois, from the city of St. Louis. We talked about Austin Prock before we went to break, and Austin Prock, once again, odds-on favorite here. The NHRA Play NHRA initiative. Hit that flow code or go to playnhra.com to check out your class favorites, who you might want to lay a couple of bucks on. We know some folks last week almost made a mint on Doug Foley, but you can see Antron, Austin, Erica, and Gage. Those are your championship favorites. Look at that, Eric Anders, still the championship leader in Pro Stock, despite the fact she hasn't won since Gainesville. Pretty wild stuff. We continue our conversation here about Austin Prock. 3 straight victories, now 7 this season.
A third-generation racer. He's fearless. He has youth. He has a lot of experience. He's surrounded really by one of the best teams in funny car racing. And when he gets in the seat, he's able to handle all that pressure that's on his shoulders.
It was his teammate Jack Beckman driving John Force's car in the final round of Reading, Pennsylvania, and he took care of the business the way he has done so often this season. Left the starting line first and just thundered down the drag strip, standing atop his Chevrolet Camaro with the Wally in his hand, leading every major statistical category in Nitro Funny Car Racing. How do you win a championship? You do it like this.
Yeah, you look at 80% full throttle runs. The next best, with the exception of Jack Beckman, is 60%.
Unheard of.
That's what you have to deal with in funny car.
Absolutely unheard of. Now we go to the Charlotte victory, and that Charlotte victory was against Alexis DeJoria, who had run a very strong race. In this first round, she qualified well, but unfortunately it didn't work out for her here.
Yeah, and when you look at Austin Prock and some of the runs, while they are impressive, they are beatable. You can see the cylinder start to misfire. The car was spinning the tires. There was some smoke, some damage. However, he did get there well ahead of Alexis.
It was then the second round opponent, the next victim, if you will, lined up was Ron Capps. Capps are in the Napa Dorman colors, smokes the tires, and for Austin Prock, that was fortuitous because his car also began to spin at the top end.
It's like a big fish. You're just letting them off the hook. That car was spinning the tires. Only 292 miles per hour, but smoke for Capps.
Then we get to the semifinal round, and there's Jack Beckman again. And there's Jack Beckman again.
And there goes Austin Prock again against his teammate. And Jack Beckman just slowed down. It seems that they are going to help and push Austin Prock to that championship while everyone else only has one car.
That Cornwall Quality Tools Camaro, seemingly untouchable. And this is how we call the final. In the final round of Nitro Funny Car, Prock on the right side of your screen, Matt Hagan on the left. And what else do we need to know about this, Bruno?
I'll talk with Alex Conaway about that tune-up on this car because they're a couple hundreds behind in terms of performance from the last round. He said that what they've done is basically gone into the tune-up they had last night. The car was on a 92, 93, and they figured that's what it's going to take to go ahead and beat Austin Prock here in the final.
Well, Bruno, you've made Pendragon smile up here because just moments ago between the two of us, you said they're going to have to run a 92 or 93 to win this thing.
Well, you have to pick a number, and you have to pick a number based on what you think the conditions will hold. And it was Matt Hagan only outperforming Austin Prock in the second round, but that was when Prock's car spun the tires at about 700 feet, and they seem to have recovered from that.
There is the other variable here. Both of these drivers are very, very good at the Christmas tree. Austin Prock has established himself as maybe the best pure driver so far this season, but you can never count out the experience of Matt Hagan. They thunder off the starting line. Hagan's 51 to Brock's 70. And at the stripe, it is Austin Brock with a 392.4 at 326 miles an hour. Matt Hagan snugged that thing up to 15 thousandths of a second by getting a 19 thousandths advantage on the lead.
Well, you can see the disappointment from Dickie Venables, and there's one way you beat Austin Prock. We've talked about it earlier. J.R. Todd has been able to do it. Task has been able to do it on a couple of different occasions, but you have to take the fight to this guy. Matt Hagan was able to do it off the starting line, just didn't have quite the power he needed to hold off that hard-charging Austin Prock.
We watch again, and this is the way it's supposed to look at a final at this crucial point in the season. Two great teams, one of which has certainly found something that they were missing for a while.
Yeah, this is a good recovery for Matt Hagan. They were the #1 qualifier. They got to the final round. They didn't lose a lot of ground on Austin Prock, but somebody's going to have to stop Austin by St. Louis. If they can't do it, and you can see a little bit of damage right there out of the pipe, but at that stage, he's got plenty of momentum, and he's on his way to that finish line.
He is on his way now to a points lead that is quickly becoming insurmountable. Much like the roof of his funny car. He's finally got up on top of it. That is the U.S. Nationals. That is the Pep Boys Nationals. That is the Carolina Nationals. And that's just the last 4 weeks. And because of that success, he is now 129 up on the field. And at this point, this car on its own is just causing people to get paranoid and make mistakes.
Well, the bad news for Austin Prock is another contender emerged. That performance by Matt Hagan was an indication that if they can do that again over the next race or two, then they could make a challenge of it, but it's going to have to start here. Make no mistake about it. This is like going into halftime, and with 3 to go after this event, it's going to be tough to catch him.
Joe Costello is the only guy on the property who could catch Austin Prock. He's with him in the pits.
Austin Prock is coming in with 3 consecutive victories. But Austin, let's go back to the last race that you did not win. In Brainerd, Minnesota, it was almost rage after you made a mistake. You said that was not going to happen again, and it hasn't.
Yeah, no, we've done a good job of making sure that hasn't happened, and I had a long road without making a big mistake like that. It was my 4th season where I got beat on, a true hole shot. So it stung. I let my entire team down. I let my dad down, and it was a terrible feeling, and I wanted to make sure that wasn't going to happen again, and I've been driving lights out since. Not too happy with my light last weekend in the final round, but it was good enough to get the job done.
You lost a huge points lead, but you've been able to regain it and reestablish dominance.
Yeah, no, for sure. We've been doing exactly what we need to do in this Cornwell Tools Chevy Camaro SS, or this weekend the AAA Camaro SS. So I'm looking forward to keeping it going. We want that 438-point lead back by the end of the year.
After the hole shot in Brainerd, he said he was going to win 7 straight. He may well do it. When we come back, we'll be talking Pro Stock and our winner from last week, Dallas Glenn.
What's up?
Who are you?
I'm your inner child. Get in. Listen, what you really need in life is some freaking torque. Oh, now we're torquing. Power shot.
The Dodge Hornet RT, the totally torqued out crossover.
The higher the horsepower, the more Power Dollars bonus cash allowance. Don't miss Dodge Power Dollars. Catch them before they're gone.
While others give you less, Domino's wants to give you more. For a limited time, when you order any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade one to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's.
If your business needs a new application, then developers will have to write code. A lot of code. If an application needs to be modernized, then you'll need time, resources, and caffeine. If this sounds daunting, then use Watson X Code Assistant. Built with IBM's Granite code model, it's AI designed to multiply developer productivity so you can generate code quickly. IBM, let's create.
I'm not alone on this mountain. I've got friends, teammates, and some doubters too. That's okay. Don't let the world tell you who you are.
Alonso and the Mets take on the Brewers, or Orioles Twins. It's baseball night in America on Fox.
Brisket is back at Chipotle. Seasoned, smoked, seared, spiced, sauced.
bold, and guac. It's a whole new kind of brisket done the
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-245-8919 for a free consultation.
Families affected by Hurricane Helene urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today to Hurricane Helene relief by going to redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. Of course, it has been a catastrophic moment for so many folks down in the southeastern United States, and we're certainly thinking of them here this weekend. Dallas Glenn is thinking about another victory this weekend. He has concentrated his efforts. A big win for him just 1 week ago in Charlotte, Tony, where he showed us that he's capable of taking down all comers.
It almost started to look like Dallas Glenn peaked at the wrong time. However, here he comes again against his biggest rival, and probably going to come down to Aaron and Dallas in the championship battle, but it was Dallas Glenn getting the best of Mason McGahey in this first round.
In the first round, he started with McGahey. That 25 light was a tone setter for him in that Rad Torque Systems TPF Parts Direct Camaro. Then it was Matt Hartford. Hartford, who has been struggling this season, has a reliable car back underneath him. He left within 5 thousandths of Glenn, but now it's the KB Titan horsepower that got Dallas a victory.
Yeah, Dallas Glenn, you see him reeling off some of the quickest times of elimination, but so was Aaron Stanfield on the other side of the ladder.
And then when we got to the semifinal, this is when the alligators started to encircle Dallas Glenn's canoe. Could he fight him off? And he's going to have to start with the biggest alligator in the pond right now, Eric Anders, and he did so with a 24 light.
Dallas Glenn will be able to look back, win, lose, or draw at this particular round. These are what we call championship rounds, the matchups, the head-to-head matchups that you have to win if you want to talk championship.
As Tony alluded to moments ago, the final round would be Aaron Stanfield and Dallas Glenn, and here's how we called it last Sunday. 14 career wins for Stanfield, 11 career wins for Dallas Glenn.
Faithful is familiar with Roger Brogdon from racing in pro stock and in NHRA over the years, but he is now sponsoring the Roof Tech Comp Cash Clash as we get that out, Roger. Why?
Well, I love this class. It's always been my favorite class. Even all the years I ran pro stock, I always would go up and watch the comp cars run. And I really didn't like the way the class seemed to be dwindling. And I figured, put some money up to see if we can get more guys to come out and do it.
What are your expectations?
I think we've met everything we're hoping to happen. Hopefully next year will be even bigger. We put up $750,000 to win this year, and whoever wins the championship gets $250,000. So, what's the old thing? Build it and they will come. Let's see what happens.
And this clash is one of two that will happen this year, open to NHRA Division 4 racers in comp. The winner of this particular race will earn $30,000. The top 16 points earners do make up the field, and the second clash is coming in Las Vegas. We get a look at our competition ladder, and one of the things that is so fascinating about Comp Eliminator is that none of these two cars are the same. Typically in drag racing, we see homogenization. We see cars that look alike racing against each other in various classes. And as you're about to learn, Comp Eliminator is unique in the world of NHRA drag racing. On the left-hand side of your screen is Jason Grimma. He is from Australia. That is a car that is classified as a B-Alter, basically a Australian-style pro stock car. And on the right side is Jeff Taylor. Taylor, one of the winningest NHRA sportsman racers of all time, in a B dragster automatic. Both cars lead the starting line. Grimma's small block powered Ford driving to the finish line stripe, and in Comp Eliminator, it is first to the finish line with a handicap style start. So Grimma goes 7:07.5 at 190. Jeff Taylor a 7:27 at 186, and his high winding dragster is eliminated. We watch again here on replay, and again you can see the offset tree. So there is a performance index for each of these categories. The start is handicapped off of that index, and the first racer to the finish line wins. There is no breakout, per se, like in bracket racing. Dave Triplett and Don Thomas, a pair of dragsters, the G Econo dragster of Dave Triplett, and Don Thomas, a C dragster automatic. When we talk about comp, the deeper down the alphabet we go, the smaller the engine and the heavier the vehicle. A G dragster automatic has a very small engine, as you can hear it screaming out the starting line. The two dragsters now making their way down the drag strip. Dave Triplett with an 18 reaction time is going to get there first on a hole shot. A 7:93 at 164. Triplett takes the win because of his great reaction time. A 7:01.8 at 190 for Don Thomas and the C Dragster Automatic in the losing effort. We watch one more time, and again, you watch that cool offset of the tree. All Don Ron Thomas needed to do was to catch his opponent in Dave Triplett, but he did not have enough race car to catch him. It was very tight at the finish line stripe, but it is going to be Dave Triplett moving on. Callie Neff, the J Dragster automatic. That is a straight 6 engine, the same type of dual overhead cam engine you'd find in a Chevy Trailblazer. On the other side, Chase Williams, the B Econo Dragster. And comp eliminator, when we talk about an Econo Dragster, it means it has a single 4-barrel carburetor on the engine. There goes that screaming dual overhead cam inline 6, the offset hood scoop for Callie Neff. And Neff trying to stave off Williams. That is razor thin at the stripe. She wins it by less or just a little more than a foot. Margin of victory of 39 10,000ths of an inch. 771.2 beats a 692 at 190 miles an hour. Neff was second off the starting line, but ultimately had enough power in that high-strung inliner to get around her opponent in Chase Williams. We watch one more time, and as we see these cars cross the stripe, the speeds here of 170 and 190 miles an hour, the separation of roughly 1 foot at the stripe. Greg Camplain, a man who formerly lived right here in the Brownsburg, Indiana area, retired machinist, and Adam Hickey. Camplain, a C Dragster automatic, and a B Dragster automatic for Adam Hickey. The offset of the Christmas tree is about 0.2 of a second here. Man, you saw Hickey's car come out with the front end up. Nice wheel stand there for the Hickey Dragster, and at the finish line stripe, it is going to be Adam Hickey. 686.4 beats a 705.1. 069 line for Adam. Definitely played a good, strong role here in his victory. Again, we're talking about less than 2 feet at the finish line. The margin of victory, 54 10,000ths. Man, great wheel stand for Hickey, though. That thing really put on a nice show leaving the line. Always impressive to see a 20-some-foot-long vehicle carry the front end 100 feet. Land it back down there again. Pair of door slammers now. Taylor Chemiskey and Scott Linder. The A altered for Linder. That is a big, naturally aspirated engine in that Pontiac Grand Am. The Chevy Copalt of Taylor Chemiskey. It is a C Super Modified. That is a small block stick-shifted car. Think of a Pro Stock in miniature. And look at the offset there. Linder, 002 reaction time, and that big cubic inch displacement big lock is going to swallow up the small block and run around the outside of him. 657.1 at 212 miles an hour. Linder just punished Chemiskey on the starting line and got the job done at the stripe. It will be Scott Linder moving on. Chemiskey did nothing wrong here. A 30 line is very competitive, but Linder was geared up for this first round of the Rootech Comp Cash Clash with a 002, and we watch again. Big cubic inches, breathing deep at the top end of the racetrack to get the job done. Glenn Treadwell and Roger Brogdon, the man we talked to at the top of the show. He's not simply a guy who invested in this whole program. He is a guy who competes in it, in that Rooftech Chevrolet Camaro. Brogdon is classified as a B-altered planetary, so it's about a Pro Stock style car with a planetary style transmission like a Lenko or a B&J in it. And Glenn Treadwell, the altered with the inline engine. And the Treadwell Farms altered is going to get around Roger Brogdon on a hole shot. 18 reaction time for Treadwell, and that inline powered altered goes 775.5 for the victory. Treadwell will move on as we watch Brogdon here on the left-hand side of your screen. Back in the day when Pro Stock cars had Lenko transmissions in them, the B-Alter Planetary is basically a heavier version of a Pro Stock car, and that Planetary denotes the style of transmission. Rick Brown, the B Truck Automatic, left-hand side of your screen, and the C Super Modified of Jared Grandier, the Lupe Tortilla car out of the Houston, Texas area. They launch off. Oh, man, Grandier, a huge wheel stand. He had to get out of it. He pedals the car, drags it back in, but Rick Brown's S10 truck is locked down to the drag strip, and he will be to the finish line first. 8:34.1 beats an 8:4.04. The indexes that these trucks or vehicles are lined up on are actually pretty tight. An 882 index for Brown, 881 for Grandier. That's why they left so close together. But man, Grandier's little Chevrolet pulled that front end up and drove itself to the right. It was an adventuresome path for him to keep his foot into it. But it is going to be Brown getting down there in the S10 truck to advance on to the next one. And Caleb Mazeris and Clint Neff lining up side by side. Mazeris and Neff here. We see the altered in the dragster now, sitting here at the tree. Keeler rolls in. Screaming engine one side, and a 008 light on the other, but big problems here for Nev. It left the starting line, and Kayla Mazeris is wisely going to shut her car off and coast to the finish line. 8:17.5 at 115. The engines in these cars are very much boutique pieces. If you can win a round without having to punish your engine by running at full throttle to the finish line, you take that opportunity. Undoubtedly, if she has a helmet radio, somebody says, shut it off, he's broke. And it will be Kayla Mazeris going on to round number 2. Now let's take a look at our competition ladder brought to us at these U.S. Nationals by Roof Tech. We can see it will be Neff and Linder, Brown and Triplett, Mazeris and Hickey to 10 and 14 qualifiers, and Glenn Treadwell will take on Jason Grima in an intercontinental battle in round number 2. A beautiful aerial shot of Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park as round 2 is set to begin when we come back to the Comcast Clash brought to us by Roof Tech. We'll see you back here in a minute.
This thing's in the middle of nowhere, and even if we didn't get any closer, you'd still know. It's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. The same way you know you can keep the concert going, even after the encore. Or take the whole family anywhere in it. Because when you're an original, there's only one.
Right now, get $6,000 bonus cash allowance or get 0% financing on 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland and Summit models. See your local Jeep brand dealer today.
Here we are driving down the road, and all of a sudden, bam! Oh! Look at that. You know what we can do now? Go to SafeLight.com. They are the experts at replacing and recalibrating windshields. If you get a crack in your windshield, there's only one choice. Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, so I saved hundreds. But the money I saved, how'd I get a wax figure myself? Oh, right in the temporal lobe. Beat it, punks! Only pay for what you need.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas fuel treatment. It works.
Sup?
Who are you?
I'm your inner child. Get in. Listen, what you really need in life is some freaking torque. Oh, now we're torquing. Power shot.
Roger Hornet RT, the totally torqued out crossover.
The higher the horsepower, the more power dollars bonus cash allowance. Don't miss Dodge power dollars. Catch them before they're gone.
Start your day with a bang.
Let's have a party.
As FS1's brand new lineup
We're gonna change up the vibe.
brings you everything you need
Have some fun, old guy.
to level up your game.
Undeniably, my favorite company.
I'm not surprised.
Every week on FS1.
The Toyota NHRA U.S. Nationals is sponsored by Lucas Oil, the world leader in high-performance lubricants and problem-solving additives, and by Toyota. Let's go places. It is a steaming hot day here at these Toyota NHRA U.S. Nationals as our Roof Tech Comcast Clash moves in to round number 2. One more peek at the ladder as those cool commemorative pennants were given out to the first several thousand fans that came to the gate today. We can see our 8 advancers that are all trying to work their way down to a final that will be worth $30,000 to the winner. One of the richest single-day payouts in the history of Competition Eliminator. We thank Roger Brogdon and Roof Tech for their support of this class in this specific race. It is 93 degrees outside right now. The humidity is very high. Density altitude about 3,800 feet. It's swampy out there. As Jason Grima of Australia on the right side of your screen will line up next to Glenn Treadwell. Treadwell, for decades, has run inline engines, inline 6 engines specifically, in dragsters, and in this case, a band-embodied Alter. The little Alter with the small inline 6 engine leaves first. Grima knocks his way through the gears in that Ford Mustang, and at the finish line stripe, it will be Grima by about a half a car length. 7-11 at 191 miles an hour. You can see a 200ths advantage on the starting line did him wonders. Treadwell's Alter runs 7.78.3 at 162 and a quarter, but it will be Jason taking us into the next round as we get one more look at it. Treadwell's run was okay. The car didn't make any sort of odd move. It might have spun the tire a little early. Such a unique piece with that inline engine, the offset scoop going down and screaming its way down the racetrack. Kayla Mazeris and Adam Hickey now lining up side by side. It will be Mazeris getting a head start on Hickey. Her index is 8:14 in the K altered automatic. His is 7:37, so almost a full second, about 0.8 of a second. Kayla Mazeris will be outrunning before Hickey can leave the starting line without redlining. Both of them have done that, so we will have a race to the finish line. Mazeris, you'll see, will begin peeking over to her right. You can see her turning her helmet there, and she has a tiny advantage, and she will take it. Kayla Mazeris advances 7:55 at 168, beats a 6:83.2. It was Hickey off the starting line first, but Mazeris in that pesky little K altered automatic was able to outpower Hickey to the stripe. Very nicely run race here. And you can see Hickey really having to drive that car. Comp Eliminator dragsters have typically very small rear tires, and they are lightweight, so they tend to skate around and move more than a large tire dragster would do, especially with the amount of horsepower they make. Rick Brown in the truck, right side of your screen. Left side is Dave Triplett. The G Econo dragster, small displacement, single 4-barrel engine for Triplett. 844 index, 882 for Brown. Brown will have 0.4 of a second head start. Brown's out, and here comes Dave Triplett. And again, the inline engine making that unique sound. And it will be Brown by about a truck length. He took the job on a whole shot, really, 41 to 68. He bought himself 2,700s off the starting line, runs 8:31.7 at 153 in his pickup truck, and gets it done. Watch again. It was a bit of a lazy-looking launch for Dave Triplett's car. You know, we watched those rear slicks. They didn't quite wrap. They didn't quite hit the slick as hard as one may have expected, and that might have hurt him in the ultimate performance of that dragster. Finally, it is Callie Neff and Scott Linder. The inline 6 dual red cam engine for Neff, and for Scott Linder, a big old honking, knuckle-dragging, hairy-chested V8. Both cars now pre-staged. Oh boy, oh man, Neff got a gift there. Scott Linder was just set to have a massive starting line advantage, but Linder's car with that big engine broke traction off the starting line. Neff was late on the tree, but every once in a while you need that particular round to get around an opponent like Linder, and she got lucky. Let's watch Linder left side. First, there goes Callie. Linder's car looked like it was trying to pick the front end up, and then it just spun the tire and kicked to the right. So Callie Neff will advance onto the semifinals. She'll take a deep breath and tear the top off that time slip. So just look at that reaction time again. Semifinal round will be Callie Neff taking on Rick Brown. It will be Kayla Mazeris taking on Jason Grima. One door slammer left. A couple of altereds and a dragster left in competition here at this Root Tech Comp Cash Clash. Working our way toward that final round. Jason Grima backing his car up from the burnout. The altered of Glenn Treadwell heating the tires, or rather Kayla Mazeris. We'll be back with round 3 after this.
Here we are driving down the road, and all of a sudden, bang!
Oh, look at that.
You know what we can do now?
Go to
SafeLight.com. They are the experts at replacing and recalibrating windshields.
If you get a crack in your windshield, there's only one choice.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Okay, Limu, you said it. Then as I spike it, I'll tell them how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so they only pay for what they need. Got it? Did you get that? Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. At Domino's, we know some companies are guilty of shrinkflation, giving you less for the same price. But we're going to give you more. Mix and match any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, and we'll upgrade 1 medium pizza to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, at Domino's.
I'm not alone on this mountain. I've got friends, teammates, and some doubters too. That's okay. Don't let the world tell you who you are.
October baseball is different. It's history, making, breaking it, rewriting it. It's ice in your veins, tested by 60 feet of heat. It's a faithful silence and a deafening roar. It's putting your money to work, giving the city what to burn, and the wild card, playing for keeps. Yeah, October's different. The NLDS begins on Fox and FS1.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, Do not call the IRS alone. Call a tax doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Another health insurance commercial, another aqua aerobics.
Yep, most health insurance companies see us all the same. Smiley seniors, golfing, hiking.
Don't forget antiquing.
That's why I chose Humana. They see me, not a stereotypical senior. I'm pre-diabetic, so I talked one-on-one with the Humana health educator who really helped me. Now I'm taking free cooking and meditation classes.
Not aqua aerobics.
Better care begins with listening. Humana, a more human way to health care.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
We are down to the final four here at Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. It is a beautiful but hot day at the Roof Tech Comp Eliminator Cash Clash as we get ready for the final four runners here on a ever-warming weekend. Lots of fans here, as there always are. This is the ultimate drag race in the country for this style of competition. We never get to see these racers from just all over the country and world battling each other side by side at the national event level. Kelly Neff will take on Rick Brown. Caleb Mazeris will take on Jason Grima. Let's go back to the starting line and show you exactly how this is about to play out here in the semifinal round. Grima, we saw him completing his burnout just before we went to break. Caleb Mazeris right side, the bantam-bodied altered. A high-stakes moment here for both of these competitors. They will be one win light away. Whoever wins this round, one win light away from a $30,000 payout. Once again, green lights. No foul starts here. It will be a race to the finish line. The reaction times within 3 thousandths, and Mazeris and the little altered is going to outpower Jason. 7:10 forward, 191 miles an hour for Grimm is not good enough as Caleb Mazeris goes 7:52.5 at 154 miles an hour. It was just enough on the starting line. And then that altered with its custom-built 4-cylinder engine of 250-odd inches displacement gets to the finish line effectively. Let's call it half a Pro Stock motor, including one of those high-flowing cylinder heads. Rick Brown and Callie Neff coming up now. Brown in his truck has been looking very strong. Callie Neff, we know what happened last round. See if she can tighten it up on the tree here. Truck leaves, Callie leaves, and Brown has problems. Brown was 16 green and his truck broke. Neff is going to be able to shut that car off again. The Self and Neff Racing Dragster will coast to a final round here at the Roof Tech Comp Cash Clash. 864.5 at only 113 miles an hour. Callie Neff is living right. You can see her pumping her fist in there. And for the first time that anybody can remember, we're going to have two women in a final round of competition eliminator here at this U.S. Nationals in this specialty race. Look at the team celebrating in the background. They are absolutely fired up here. As Callie, and again, you save the equipment. If you don't have to beat on that thing, you don't do it. You simply shut it off and coast if you don't hear your opponent at that point of the racetrack. This is the final round. It will be Callie Neff and Caleb Mazeris, the number 1 and 10 qualifiers on this ladder, have fought their way down. And as so often is the case in the world of Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series, female competitors have stood in the ring and done the job better than anybody else to make their way to this final round. When we come back, the last run for $30,000 here at the U.S. Nationals on a hot, hot Saturday.
Here we are driving down the road, and all of a sudden, bang! Oh! There's a crack in our windshield. You know what we can do now, though, right? Go to SafeLight.com. And we're good to go.
Hey guys, I'll be replacing the windshield for you. Can we go in there with you? New cars come with cameras that can control your automatic braking systems and lane departures, which you do need to get recalibrated when you get your windshield replaced.
You get a crack in your windshield, there's only one choice.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace. While others give you less, Domino's wants to give you more. For a limited time, when you order any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade one to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's.
Why has America accepted the wait for payday? In
Introducing MyPay from Chime. Get up to $500 of your pay before payday. No interest, no credit check, no mandatory fees. Get paid when you say. With MyPay. Get started at Chime.com.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Products, race parts sold by racers since 19...
I didn't have to spend my life trying to find my calling. Mine found me at an early age. It was just a matter of how good I could get and how far I would.
At Ram, our calling is to build trucks. So when you find your call, nothing can stop you from answering it.
Right now during Ram Power Days, get $3,000 cash allowance on the purchase of most 2025 Ram 1500 trucks. Don't miss Ram Power Days. Hurry in today.
There is less than 1/100 of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
Tom Brady, the broadcaster? Why do it?
Tommy, why?
Yeah, Tommy. Why don't you lay on a beach getting fat on pina coladas? They don't understand that our football journey isn't even close to done. Because you're Tom freaking Brady.
One day, you'll be the greatest there ever was.
Back to work.
The Toyota NHRA U.S. Nationals is sponsored by Lucas Oil, the world's high-performance lubricants and problem-solving additives. We are back. The cows are grazing. The racers are packed in, and this is the final round of the Roof Tech Comp Eliminator Cash Clash as part of the 70th running of the Toyota NHRA U.S. Nationals. And what is such a rarity in the sport of drag racing, but not completely rare in comp, is that we have a final round with not a V8 in sight. Two inline engines, one a 4-cylinder and one a 6-cylinder, will be running off for 30 grand. Let's take a look now and find out exactly how these two racers are going to deal with the pressure of what could be the largest single-run payout any of them will race for over the course of this season. That is Callie Neff, this Caleb Azars. And again, we look down at that altar, and we can see it's a 4-cylinder, but it's a big 4-cylinder, over 250 cubic inches. And most of these engines are custom-made from billet. They use a cylinder head, which is, if not exactly like a Pro Stock cylinder head, some of them actually use a Pro Stock cylinder head, so you have incredible airflow. And again, we can see that overhead cam, J Dragster automatic, inline 6 engine for Callie Neff. The mechanical fascination of Comp Eliminator is making these engines, is making these vehicles. Comp Eliminator is set up on a weight and displacement style of classification. You can have an A altered, which has a big V8 in it, or you can go down that alphabet, finding your way to very high horsepower, efficient, small engines, putting them in light, efficient cars. Look at how small the slicks are in the back of these things. You need to save weight, be as efficient as possible. The two racers staging up for $30,000 under cloudy skies here at the U.S. Nationals. They both take a beat here. They're both waiting in pre-stage. Caleb puts the alternate in first, and here comes Cowie. Very little offset in the trade. Reaction times almost identical at 52 and 54. This is a horsepower race. Callie Neff looking to her left of the dragster, and it will be Callie Neff. 765 at 171 miles an hour as Caleb Mazeris goes 749.9 at 174. The team and the crew celebrating as they should, not only for the payday, but for the prestige of winning this race. You can see the rearview mirrors on her dragster. It was so close she couldn't see anything in those rearview mirrors. The little alternate with Caleb Mazeris at the wheel was right next to her. But for Callie Neff, this is a fantastic moment in her career. Starting as a young girl, junior dragster racing, working her way up to this high-powered, very fast equipment. She has done a fantastic job today. She got a break or two and she needed it, but ultimately, when it counted, in this moment, she was the better lever, and she did a better job getting to the finish line. dozen, half dozen on one side, the screaming four-banger on the other. It is, in fact, Kelly Neff at the top end of the racetrack now with Amanda Busick, and I can't help but believe this will be an emotional moment for her as she collects not only the trophy, but the money at the
Top end up here with Callie Neff, your win cash. Your first win in told me off camera. How extra special is it? It's not the win, but also being here at Indy.
Yeah, it's definitely very special. It's probably the biggest milestone I'll ever reach in my career. And I know having my pops here is worth more than I can tell you. And my mom here and just all the support that I have, and back home all the support. I'm still feel like I'm just dreaming. I don't know how to take it all in yet, but yeah, I don't think anything will ever top this moment.
I can see your friends and family taken in the moment, a bit emotional over there. What's it like winning $30,000 in a day?
This is the first time that's ever happened, so it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I didn't think anything like this would ever happen, but it's amazing. Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you so much.
So often people get concerned about the youth of drag racing. Where does the talent come from? Where is it being cultivated? Well, it's being cultivated right here in classes like Competition Eliminator. We will do another one of these in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we can see the same two racers in the final, but when we get to the high desert, everything tends to change. The air dries out, things get cooler, and at that part of the end of the year, the emotions, just like Callie's, run very, very high. Thank you to Roger Brogdon and Roof Tech for being a part of this Comp Cash Clash. It has been spectacular. For Amanda Busick, I'm Brian Lones, and we'll see you next at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway with more Competition Eliminator action.
The Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is presented by Purina Pro Plan. Once again, our judge for tonight, David Kittredge, our ring announcer,
The
standing by.
archetype water dog of France, the Barbet, is a joyful, bright, and loyal companion. A rustic breed with roots as far back as the 60s.